healthcare in between. Physics, art, and math got us down this path. Historical tales come alive, where science and stories dive. Blended facts with heart, knowledge from the start. MedBricks blues we sing, to the future memory. Health and science in the mix, MedBricks got the fix. Complex subjects made clear, every episode with cheer. Ramona leads the way, explaining day by day. In the world of digital streams, turning knowledge into dreams. Through the tales of old, new stories unfold.
MedBricks Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Hey, welcome to the MedBricks Webcast. This is Raman Annamraju. I'm the host. So let me, guys, that we have a guest coming up. He's from Florida. So Florida is recently, they got a lot of hurricanes. One Helena, we went there, and then Milton, and then we want to see how they responded, what they went through. It's a very interesting thing to know. What's going on during the disasters, disaster situations in Florida, the epicenter of the disasters, Florida is. So after that, I'm going to talk about a very interesting quantum entanglement in the imaging. They act like a ghost imaging. They call, actually, the name itself is a ghost imaging. It has a real name, quantum ghost imaging. I'm going to talk about that. That's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to, Hilton and, Helene and Milton, in California, we are all thought that everybody in Florida is going to die. but, so I hope she's alive. Let me bring our guest, Susan Davis. Let me bring her up. Let us check whether she's alive or not. Welcome to the MedBricks Webcast, Susan.
Good evening, Ramana. Yes, I made it. I'm here.
Yeah, I made it. Welcome. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your journey through this humongous hurricanes, one after the other. What went through let us talk about citizen as a just a human being. After that, I will talk with you as a healthcare professional, as a doctor of nursing practice. So you can tell me other side of the story, both sides of the story. If you can give us a little bit sense what went on during the hurricanes.
Oh, well, welcome to Hurricane Alley down here in Florida. It's kind of a way of life. It's like, is it raining? No, it's a hurricane. And so we've had a lot of them, We went, it was just a couple years ago where we got hit very hard right here in my local area by Ian. And Ian was devastating to me as a neighbor, as a community member, and as a nurse with a healthcare system that just got kiboshed. And it takes, a long time to recover. So where Ian was super horrible on everything on the exterior, roofs, gutters, windows, carports, giant trees, everything to the ground. So it was a big wind problem. And then speed up to just the last two, are twins, Helene and Milton, and they were a big, heavy water issue. So there was massive flooding. And in this case, I got nailed. So I did lose everything in my house and even my car from Helene, which was very rude. And it was exactly 2 weeks in between Helene and Milton. And just when I had my, the walls were cut out and the fans were going, and I thought I was going to be able to save a few things, Milton came through, and Milton came in worse. The water was higher. So anything I might have possibly had left over, I did not after Milton. And Milton was very, very rude. Milton brought in sludge. So there you have it, Hurricane Alley. So it does affect all of us. It helps. It's horrible on the healthcare system. Our teams have to go in. They're billeted with Team A or Team B. You have to leave your family before the storm and stay until the storm passes. And or then relieve those people, which is huge. You know, they've been in there for however many hours straight, and then they want to go home after the storm passes. And so Team B has to come in to relieve them. And so it's a big stress. It's a stress on everybody.
How do you prepare for this kind of situations? What do you do as a citizen how do you prepare yourself as a resident of this unrelenting hurricanes?
Well, down here in Florida, it's kind of an expectation. So, you're supposed to have your hurricane kit, and we were all like, yeah, hurricane kit. You get your basics. You have water, booze, gas, candles. You put everything that's on the outside that you can possibly bring in and tuck down. You tuck down, and it's kind of like mosquitoes and no-see-ums down here. The tourists are smacking them, and we're just like this. So there's lots of things you can do, but listen, it's not good when you don't prepare. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So let us talk about the healthcare system. How do they respond? FEMA, the just in general, county, state, and then federal governments. There's a lot of response teams there. What is that really helping and saving? I saw you wrote a nice article about the nurses and disaster. And then, that was impressive. So just tell us a little bit about that, how you as a healthcare professional, what kind of healthcare systems available, what tools are available during this process.
So the plan is amazing. It's a massive plan, and there's a massive team, and they watch the storms pre, during, and post on levels, both in our counties, from our state level to our county level. The hospital, of course, sits. They have an emergency operations center that coordinates with both state, local, and national plans. In the state of Florida, I can tell you that there's a lot of plan. You only get in trouble when you don't follow the plan. So we're all prepared. We have very formal evacuation plans. We have plans to shelter in place when the timing and the communication is amazing throughout, before, during, and then after. And then after, there's always resources. We're never without for very long. I mean, you might be without power, but not for very long. I mean, I have been, 2 weeks without power at one point, but that was like years ago. Anymore, you're not going to be down for more than 3, 4, 5 days, depending on how bad your area got hit. So, I don't know. Down here, it's going to be tricky. You do have to plan. If you know or think you're going to be without, you have to plan on thinking you're going to be without electricity. But I'll speak to nurses. And for instance, myself in Ian. Now, I wasn't able to respond after Helene or Milton because I myself was in trouble. I had my own stuff I had to take care of. But like after Ian, there wasn't anything I could do except help. And that's what nurses do. Nurses show up. They show up at the front line, whether it's in the hospital or whether it's in the community. And that's what we did in my local healthcare system. We all pitched in. After Ian, we had to transport patients. We had to close down and remove patients' babies. There's specialists in my healthcare system at our children's hospital, and we transported dozens of babies, that critical care babies. They got them out of here, and it took them to safer areas. So I worked in that particular part of the hurricane during Ian. It was evacuating patients because we lost power and water to two of our hospitals. So it doesn't even matter. The article you're referring to was, I wrote, there was nurses leaving from all over the country going to help up in the Carolinas. So nurses are going to show up, period.
Yeah,
doesn't matter the need.
What about somebody as you're a cardiac nurse? Some of the cardiac arrests can happen during this time. How do they respond? How do you reach these people and respond at the same time?
Well, I'll tell you what, it gets very tricky during the height of the storm because they warn you. What happens is down here, once winds get over 45 mile an hour, then the bridges are going to close. And at that point, they warn you that emergency services are not coming. So they make it very clear. I mean, for days, if you are in these evacuation areas, you must heed the warning and get out. And if you don't, you're taking basically life and limb into your own hands. So they will not be able to respond. Once winds reach 45 miles an hour and over, they're not coming. So, and a lot of course, it's clearly stressful. Cardiac arrest loves high stress and high anxiety. So we do see a huge uptick in cardiac arrest. And then after the storm, of course, our emergency rooms are a hot mess.
What are the common injuries during the hurricane? Hurricanes one after the other. Usually, what do you see the effect of those? Usually, what kind of things you see?
Well, there's weird things. There's a lot of injuries because people are trying to do remove storm damage. There's a lot of weirdo anaphylaxis from bee bites and ant bites because the animals are all stirred up. The insects are stirred up. There's chainsaw issues because people are trying to get limbs and stuff. Definitely mental health. Mental health is just a huge crisis after people lose their home. Like when we were transferring patients, it's like they're time to leave the hospital, but they have nowhere to go, right? Because their home is gone. And so, but they can't stay in the hospital. So what do we do? So there's a lot of, man, I'll tell you what, though, I work with some of these nurses and some of our emergency operation and our leadership here. We've been through it so many times. They just do the most phenomenal job. They make sure we have gas. They make sure we have water. They make sure we have, I mean, it can be tricky to get to it, but it's available. So there's just a million things, Ramana.
Yeah, I can, that when I was growing up in India, one of the things is infectious diseases are big after the flooding. Usually that's a big problem there, cholera and all those things. But at least those are not there, at least most of the time is insect bites also the big problem we had. So I think, when you prepare for this kind of a disasters, you always, nurses are always in the forefront, you are real heroes, in my view, true advocates for the patients and true advocates for the residents or the nurses. No question about that, in my view. So, you right now in present, you're not in your house, right?
No, I'm in a rental house. Actually, and and it's not going to last. But I have very good news. They pulled new wires in my house yesterday. So I actually have electricity. Well, I have electricity as of yesterday, and the walls started to go back up just yesterday as well. So I'm getting close, maybe by the holidays.
So you have some cattle and all kinds of horses and all these things. How they are doing? They survived okay in the disaster?
They do just fine. It depends on the amount of land that you have, but if you have plenty of land, and even if you don't during a hurricane, there's a lot of small animals. Sometimes, there's lots of small animal shelters during hurricanes. The large animals, there's lots of different ways. You can braid your name and number into their mane or in their tail. You can use paint and put your address and phone number on your horse's sides, on their butts. Cattle, you just say good luck, good riddance. Give it, do your best. Mostly they do okay, as long as there's not. Actually, our livestock here in the state of Florida, they have a worse time with just a normal summer lightning storm. Their biggest fear we have for them is lightning.
Lightning? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which you don't really have much lightning. There's tornadoes during hurricanes. There's a lot of tornadoes during, was it Helene? I think it was Helene. It might have been Milton. They're blurring together. Tornadoes are bad, but the livestock is fine. They just hunker down and they do just fine.
I'm truly sorry that you are going through a lot of these things. We can't imagine. We are in the sunny weather, 72 degrees in California. We don't even understand, that the effect of this not unrelenting, one after the other. You're getting these, bombarded with the hurricanes. I lived in a monsoon season. I grew up in a monsoon season. I remember those days. We used to have all the cancel some plans all together. It is really disappointing for us as the kids, any canceling plans. But I tell you cancel your house and all those things is really much more worse in that situation there. Do you suggest anything improvements in the sense that any disaster side, if you improve, what would be that improvements would be? Do you think
cardiac. We should have more cardiac. The head jump machines. The cardiac,
AEDs.
yeah. So you jump start. You can do more in those kind of things that and do some of the emergencies like a central place, a distributed place that the people can go there and get those things.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't think it makes a difference whether you're having a storm or not. That type of upstream preparation should be no matter what. I mean, your community and needs to be prepared. Cardiac arrest doesn't care what the weather is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, of course, any kind of high anxiety or will bring on more sickness of all kinds. But Ramana, to your point, any community that's not prepared way before a storm it needs to be. So AEDs need to be placed. I mean, there's a cool company right now called Avive, and their goal is to have a 4-minute city. So you should never be 3 minutes would be even better, but it's not tricky. We know the gold standard to first shock is 2 minutes in the hospital setting, and in the community, it should be in 3 minutes or less. Now that's pretty tricky. That takes a lot of AEDs. So once you if you're going to add and use this in a storm situation, that gets even double trickier because, there's stuff down on the roadways. Roadways are flooded. There's trees down. There's limbs down. And in this case, this flooding that we just had, you can't imagine the disaster and the roads from people's things. So I'm talking about furniture. I mean, beds, mattresses, furniture, garbage cans, garbage, bedding. I don't even know, mattresses. It's piled as high as you could see for many whole neighborhoods. So there is an impediment to getting to the closest. And it's also an impediment for, emergency services to get to you if you're in a hard hit area. So, you might, I think it would be there's lots of smaller ones coming out, AEDs, even personalized ones. They're
I didn't see that.
Use
Yeah.
to sell AED. It's a single use. Some people are naysayers about it. I say, heck yeah. I mean, so, you do have to take your health into your own hands. We can't be always worrying and waiting about who's going to come to save us. You kind of sort of have to take your life into your own hands for you and your family and get your own AED. Get one for your home. Get a small one for your backpack. If you're someone who does a lot of sporting events, if you do distance running or biking, or you go off the grid, who's going to save you, hurricane or not?
Can you give us that information about it? I can post in my LinkedIn because a lot of executives watch, they go to hiking and all those things. It's very important to have that kind of a carrying on because people are getting older, and particularly Florida is the retirement home for a lot of people. So they're all older people. The whole country is getting older. So it is a challenge. I think, we need to have how much training is required nowadays with the new technology, like a defibrillators coming up with the technologies.
Less and less training. I mean, you turn them on and you push the button. I mean, they're really, literally, you turn it on, you put the pads on, and if it's a shockable rhythm, some of them will just do the shocking for you, and some will say, push the button. But that's it. It's like that's it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah. When I used to use, we used to got trained on the Zolt or Zell or somebody, I forgot about
Zoll.
that. Zoll, right? So that is a lot of work. You have to put in the right places, and then you have to charge them out and all. These are all changed, right? It's a very much easier now.
Yeah, we use a lot of Zolls. I mean, Zoll makes a lot of AEDs. So they do have the pre-hospital AEDs in public safety. And then they also have the in-hospital manual defibrillators. But even the manual defibrillators, they literally have a step 1, step 2, step 3 on it. Step 1, turn it on. Step 2, put the pads on. Analyze the rhythm. So there's a button on there that turns it into an AED. One button. And then if it's a shockable rhythm, it's going to charge. And then when it's ready, you clear and shock. So it's really not that tough.
This is the place where drones can help, Susan. I think, the drones have defibrillators. You can send it, just fly. There's no traffic problem, nothing. Just you can go straight into the process. That, at least, that I hope that come into the special waivers, and they allow that
Sure.
drones to carry defibrillators.
Yeah,
Drones can
they're
be very
using them.
valuable asset in those kind of situations.
Yeah, they're really cool. We're starting to use them. They're unfortunately it's a little tricky with airspace.
Yeah,
So and they're trying to what they want to do and what they are doing in several areas. There's a couple places here in Lee County, Florida. We've got a couple up in Tampa. They've got a couple, but they can go in very limited areas due to the airspace issues. But they're trying to put AED, stop the bleed, Narcan, and even an EpiPen on those things. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's super
that's
cool.
yeah. It's just that kind of emergencies are very valuable in the whole process. No question about
Mhm.
that. Yeah, that your rescue RN, you teach a lot of these people, training the communities, you teach schools, and you do your the company that you run is the rescue RN, right? So what do you all do in the rescue RN?
Oh wow! Well, RescueRN is having a great time. I've been spent a lot of time this year going to some of the bigger health tech and innovation conferences. I've been at Vive this year. I just got back from Health out in Vegas,
Yeah.
which was amazing. There was CodePrep, my signature program, was highlighted there as as RescueRN as a nurse innovator, but my program, my signature program, CodePrep, was highlighted there in Vegas. Is really, really, really cool. I'm recently working on a new project, bringing CodePrep into radiology. So
Mm.
I've just been hired by a diagnostic company, Bracco Diagnostics. We are working together, and I am now doing what's called reaction ready anaphylaxis to arrest in radiology areas in hospitals across the country. So I'm getting ready. I'm ramping up to do that. It's super exciting. So we'll be in like CT, MR, and echo, anywhere there's contrast media.
So when they administer contrast during the contrast process, that could be where the emergencies get. Is it that quite normal now? You have now a lot of emergencies come during the contrast administration.
So if you want to call cardiac arrest a low frequency, high risk event, a contrast media reaction is a low frequency, high
Yeah,
risk event. However, the amount of contrast media in the number of humans is going up. And there's like
um,
100 million doses a year given now. And our
oh,
patients are sicker and sicker.
the,
So they're anxious, they're not well, they're about to go into this crazy tube. They get this contrast media. So it is not, it is a low frequency event.
yeah,
It's the highest in CT, a little lower in MRI, and then lower still in echocardiogram areas. But it still happens. And if you think about the setting, the radiology settings and imaging settings, they tend
yeah,
to be kind of out of the way. They're not in the normal flow. So there's
yeah,
a real high opportunity for a long response time. And so what are they going to do until help arrives? So that's what reaction ready is.
yeah,
We learn about the mild, moderate, and severe complications and signs and symptoms. And then what are we going to do about it? And then more
yeah.
importantly, what do we do
Um,
once they tank? So
I'm playing around with it. So yeah, thank you. We'll come back and I will ask you a little bit more about it and see that what are the rescue RN and new CPD codes you're saying. I want to understand that CPD code part of it. Let me present a topic on this new kind of thing. It's going to be actually in radiology. It's very useful in radiology. I'm going to talk about that. You can watch that with me. It's called quantum ghost in medical imaging. It looks a funny story, but I'm going to tell you is interesting. That is Susan Davis. She's joining from Fort Myers, Florida. Survived, the hurricanes. So now we're going to listen the quantum physics now. This is Arthur Clarke said that he's a science fiction writer. Any sufficient advanced technology is undistinguishable from magic. That's what he said. That's absolutely. I will show you how that is so true. I'm going to medical imaging with a ghost. I'm going to talk about that. It's all funny, we all think, but it's more you'll be surprised. So, actually, I'm going to tell a story, just a fictional story, a real story, maybe. There's a girl is from UGA, University of Georgia. It's just a hypothetical story, and listen to me. So, then the boy is going to the Vanderbilt, both of them, but they're brothers and sisters. And what they do is they have brotherly love. So, what they decided is that whenever she wears the Georgia Bulldogs, he wears Vanderbilt. When she wears the Vanderbilt T-shirt, she wears the Georgia Bulldog shirt. So they're kind of understanding each other without any communication. They do that automatic. That is a, that is so they have this automatically, they're intuitively, when she puts the Georgia T-shirt, he changes to the Vandy shirt. If he does the Georgia T-shirt, she puts the Vandy shirt automatic. There's a brotherly love kind of thing. That's a love in action. But that is a kind of a magic, right? So what they do is, if there is no text messages, there is no phone calls, no emails, nothing, they don't call their mom, but they change. Whenever they change the one shirt, immediately she changes the other shirt. One person wears the Georgia Bulldogs, other one wears the Vanderbilt, and vice versa. It's immediate and fast, quick and instant. That's a very strange concept. So, Las Vegas, Susan is talking about Las Vegas. A lot of people like that money. So they bet. That is a magic. Some people say it's a magic. That's not a magic at all, they say. Okay, right? So that is where the bets are involved. Then the lawyers, when there is a money, lawyers get involved, right? So Harvard law professor, he says that there's no magic at all. I know that they're not talking to each other. They're not calling each other. They're not calling their mom. There is no telephone. There are no emails. But this happening because they have a hidden pact. They have a secret pact before they left for college. What they did was they're executing a plan, a secret plan. We don't know what it is, but there's no magic to it. That's what he said. That's what he says. But when it's a far-fetched truth, but it's a far-fetched, so they send two lawyers with the different T-shirts, the Bulldog T-shirts and Vanderbilt T-shirts, and both of them, they have both of them. And then other lawyer goes to the boy, one lawyer goes to the girl. So they put it randomly, they give a T-shirts to wear and see, and then call each other, hey, does he wearing the opposite shirt? That's a far. If they're wearing that opposite shirt, that's kind of a magic, right? So without telling, there's no communication between them. She's a lawyer from one side giving a T-shirt, random T-shirt to her, and then say, wear this one. Then you want to see, immediately call them, and is he wearing the opposite T-shirt? If she's wearing a Georgia Bulldogs, is he wearing the Vanderbilt shirt? And is she wearing the Vanderbilt shirt? Is he randomly changing back and forth? But if that happens, that you think is a far-fetched magic, that is, right? But that if they won, it's a far-fetched truth, but it's true. It's a far-fetched. But in this one, I think I did a wrong one. Let me check this one. I got the wrong one. Yeah.
I can't believe you're talking about radiology and Vegas. I brought both of those up.
With those out.
See, it's just like the T-shirts.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, this is a. I thought that, let me check that. Maybe I need to add a different one while I'm doing this. Just to give me 1 second. I think this is something that I forgot to add. Is the wrong version I added, but I'm going to add this one. I thought is a ghost. Yeah, let me do that.
Did your children know they were going to be highlighted in your show tonight?
As their children, yeah, they don't know.
I recognize them.
Yeah. But anyway, that is a magic. That is is a far-fetched truth. It's a far-fetched truth. That's the right one. Okay, but they came from same womb, right? Remember, that's why they came from the same mother's womb. That's why they have this lovely bond. So Lloyd's lost, magic won. You think that if it is the case, that you think is a magic and is a far-fetched truth, but in the quantum mechanics, in the quantum physics, that is absolutely. That is a far-fetched truth. Is absolutely true in the quantum physics. Entangle a high energy photon, a particle hits the crystal and produces two offsprings of photons, low energy photons. They are entangled like brother and sister. They have a very strange bond between them, these two photons. Coming from the same atom, they have a strange bond. That's a entanglement, that's what they call. I'll tell you about that strange bond. So the strange bond is that these particles are in a ghostly form. Very another counterintuitive idea is these particles, they exist in a superposition. That means there's a usually particles have their particles have either spin up and spin down. That's a property of the charge, spin, or the properties of the particles. In this case, this is a charge up and down, like a boy and girl same time. We don't know. So it is like in the womb itself. So until you come out, that you don't know whether it's a boy or girl. That's what it is. It is a photon. One photon is spin up, other photon is down. Both of them are superimposed. Only one particle, it is superimposed on the other side. Same. They can be billion miles away apart. For example, so this is until you observe it, we don't know whether which one is which one. So that is a strange part of the quantum physics. So there is a in our system. Yeah. So Bob and Alice is a very common things we use in quantum physics. They're lovers. There's not brother and sister, but a similar kind of love they have. So they have this. He goes to another galaxy, Proxima B. Is a huge star. Is another galaxy. Goes there. Another planet. He was traveling, but they're lovers. Billions of miles away, they're each other. There is no way phone calls work because it takes 100 years to come to the phone call. So she will be dead by this time, or he will be dead. So they need to communicate. There is no communication, but there is a possibility. It is not a communication. It's the quantum entanglement can make it. She can tell whether she's alive or dead by looking at the because when you open the box, this particle box, if it is spin down, you automatically for her spin up. That's a complementary. Doesn't matter how many miles, a billion miles or 2 trillion miles, doesn't matter. It's instant and immediate. That is a magic. So that is a very strange bond between these two particles that they shared. They took it with them. So I tell you whether they can communicate through real information or not, we will find out. But there exists some kind of a bond there between these two particles, and then they can feel that. Okay. So even if you are in the different planet, different world, different universe, same universe in the different distant galaxy, you can do that. So if he sees the spin up, she sees the spin down. Opposite complement, like I told you in the t-shirts. If they wear a Vanderbilt, she wears the Bulldog. He wears the Vanderbilt. She wears the Bulldogs. The opposite, vice versa. Same thing. So spin up is the one particle is spin up, and other one is spin down. Okay, but there is no lawyer, but the Einstein is a Jewish lawyer. He put a lawyer hat. Einstein put a lawyer hat. What he said that there is no magic to it. Einstein did not believe in magic. He said that that's spooky action at distance. Then you throw a curveball. It said that they have a secret pact before they left. That's like what I told you before they left for college. They have a secret pact, right? That's Einstein throw a powerful curveball. It's called EPR paradox. A curveball, he said that there is something hidden between the hidden variables, they call. There's something hidden. They have a secret pact. They didn't tell us. We don't know what it is. That's why there's no big deal. They're executing that secret pact. That's all it is. It looks like a magic to us. But this is the three scientists. They published a paper, EPR paradox. Is called Albert Einstein, Boyan Podolsky, and Rosennathan. EPR, their first names. That's what the EPR paradox is. He created a doubt among this magic. There is no magic there. But oh boy, That's for a long time. Nobody can question Einstein. But after his death, there was a guy. He is a physicist. His name is John Bell, Irish physicist. Okay, he came down. Is underrated physicist. He's a really ground shaking phenomena idea. It's called a Bell's inequality. He proved that there is no secret pact. I can prove it. There is no secret pact. Non-locality they call it. There are no hidden variables. There is no secret pact between them. I can prove it. A simple mathematical, algebraical way, he proved it. Very simple way. That is a very strange way he proved it. Very simple way he proved it. There is no pact between them. Einstein was wrong. How did he do that? To demonstrate that, there was actually in 2022, Einstein was wrong. Then, that they can communicate. They do spooky action at distance. There is a spooky action there exists. So then, how do you put that algebra, that kind of thing? How do you prove that there is no spooky, there is no secret pact? There is a very strange game. 2022, people came up with a strange game. There's two scientists, Merman and Pierce. Magic Square is called. What is this Magic Square is? Let me tell you. Susan is playing, say, rows. I'm playing columns. And what is that -1? You put anywhere, you can put a +1 or -1. This Magic Square. So as the sum of all the rows or columns must be -1. That is the goal of but don't worry about the details. As long as we talk each other, me and Susan, we can solve this problem. Magic Square is a very simple tic-tac game. Very easy. But there is something strange, bizarre about this square. The moment we don't talk each other, we are independently putting our plus or -1 there. This problem never be solved. Million years. There is no way you can solve. Without communication between us, this problem cannot be solved. This is one of the fascinating Magic Square, was a scientific experiment, scientific Magic Square, Scientific American mentioned in the 2022 is one of the strangest phenomena. This magic square, as long as we communicate, there's no problem. We can do in a few minutes. You can play this game online. But the moment we stop communicating each other and putting our own numbers there, this problem cannot be solved. There is no way you can solve this problem. So you can use this one to psychic testing. Suppose you say Hollywood medium say that I'm talking with your grandmother. Oh, you may say, oh, grandmother doesn't know math, but she knows bingo. Is nothing more than a bingo, right? So you can test that guy, tell him to play with her. If she's really existed talking with the grandmother, dead grandmother, because you can test the psychic medium through this game. Because you can, without a communication with that person, this problem cannot be solved. That is just special about this Merman Pierce Magic Square. Really fascinating square it is. So it's a small, simple, but it's a very extremely powerful way of proving something strange. That's what he used a similar logic, and John Bell proved there exists magic indeed. So in fact, they did experiment on it in 2022. 2022, yeah, they won the Nobel Prize. Elian Aspect, John Clauser from California, Elian Aspect from France, and Anton Zeilinger from Austria won the Nobel Prize to prove there exists really a magic. They won the Nobel Prize. So they proved that they don't communicate. There's no secret pact. They communicate out of this world. We don't know what the communication is. It is outside of our understanding. So if you think about that, all the viruses, enzymes, molecules exhibit this quantum phenomena. We are coming to know quantum biology is becoming a big thing. But I tell you something interesting. These are all space and time. The sizes and the times or scales are so far from us that we need a really quantum physics to. So let us talk about this one. Uh, Quantum ghost imaging. It is you can tell because of the entanglement, the photons are connected together. One shows up, other shows down. I can use as a communication tool is possibly. What we do is suppose I have a entangled photons there. Two entangled photons is the light particles. If I see the same candle and she sees the same, I don't have to see her. Florida, Susan in Florida, I'm in San Francisco. We can, I can see her through the candle. I don't need to even have a picture of her with her cattle, with her horses. She's happy. So, so you can see her through this indirect way by watching the source. So candle. That is a quantum ghost imaging is real. It's not a some joke. It is, in fact, it became a true. The Brookhaven laboratories, they did a quantum X-ray microscope. They did. It's a two. One is a real the photons, the X-rays. Other one is a low density X-rays. Then you put the less radiation to that. So you can take. So what is the advantage of that? These two rays. You can use the two X-rays. You can put a low dosage, low radiation on the one side, and other side amplified. If you put a low dosage, you may not see the interactions so small, the drug interactions or any interactions you cannot see them. But by watching the other path, other entangled photon, other path, you can literally see what's going on inside. So I can give a less radiation to the patient, and the other side you can see the actual mechanism, what's going on in the body. You can reduce. This is a quantum ghost imaging can be used. They already did the testing actually. Brookhaven Laboratories, they did this quantum X-ray microscope. You can apply quantum PET imaging for the cancer detection. The correlate, the biggest problem in the PET scans, positron emission tomography to detect cancer is basically what they do is it is a lot of noise comes out. It's not a, people think it's clear, but it's not a molecular level. It's not that crystal clear. A lot of noise there. With the quantum entanglement, quantum imaging, you use a quantum ghost imaging. One is a ghost, right? One is the two rays that come out. One is a photon, one photon goes this way, one photon goes this way. When you correlated photons only that you count them, then imaging all the noise is gone. Then you know which one interacted with the body. You can get a clear-cut images with the quantum PET imaging. Not only quantum imaging, you can do that with the medical devices, QPAT, QMRI, QX-ray, all of them are going to come in. Prostate cancer detection, breast cancer detection, you can do through using a very less radiation. Even the treatment, for example, you can use a less of them, so you can see the actual response for the things. Early detection, eye resolution is out of this world with the quantum ghost imaging. So you can use a photodynamic therapy also. There's actually quantum dots. These are tiny crystals. Very, very tiny nanocrystals. They is going to revolutionize the medicine. Now we were talking about Susan about the contrast imaging. She said that there is a lot of the reaction for the contrast agents get reaction, sometimes epileptic shocks they get. So you can do Narcan or some kind of a EpiPen or some thing administer. She can tell us what that is. But so this is a contrast agent. What quantum dots? These tiny crystals are 5 to 10 nanometers atomic scale. Give them. They take it the injection through injection or some. You can do that. What they do is they go there and fluorescent. They lighten up. The right hand side, what you see, intestines of the rat, real. At the molecular level, at the cellular level, you can see by using the quantum dots. They're tiny crystals. There's a fluorescent probes, basically. They light up. And also you can use them as a targeted drug delivery. So they can go there and they can go to the cell and blow up that cell. You can see literally on the microscope in the visualization is unbelievable visualization with the quantum dots. Quantum dots behave quantum phenomena. These are crystals. They're not particles even. They are nanocrystals, but they act like a quantum phenomena because they're so small. It is really, we are stepping into the next level. We're going to find some all this. So what is the fundamental thing behind that? Is the unspoken bond between these two particles creating this kind of imaging and all those things. Entanglement. They say the space is entangled. Entanglement is creating the space. The people we live in three-dimensional geometry that we're seeing is a day. So one Maldacena, he says they have this unspoken bond. That's what he says. So our unspoken bond is love and kindness. Physician and nurses, the advocates of the patients, that relationship is a very, very precious, really real in that sense. Okay, thank you for watching. This is a MedBricks presentation. I hope you liked it. But let me bring that Susan back to the stage here. Hi, Susan. So, did you hear something new, strange, right?
I mean, it's always such an amazing learning experience. So I was following you pretty good up until the crystals at the end. I'm wondering, so are the crystals entangled or?
Yeah, crystals
Okay,
are
they must
entangled.
be. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
actual crystals are entangled.
So then my question then goes back to the origin of the entanglement. So they have to begin somewhere before they're
Yeah.
separate.
They have the process that what I said that they take high
Where-
photon, they hit the a crystal. Actually, they hit the crystal, and then they produce that two particles or two whatever that quantum dots. There's
Right.
entangled. Anything comes from the same source, they become entangled.
Comes from the same source. Okay, so
Yeah.
you use the example of the two children coming from the womb. They
Yeah.
came from the same womb. So that's where they got entangled. That's why they're connected, And this is like
And
the
that's
butterfly
what we
effect as
think.
well, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
What is that?
the butterfly effect. This is
No, it's not a butterfly effect. No. This is actually the connection between these two things, or is just unspoken. There is no known connection between them. But
I
there's
thought I thought I might be reaching there, but so very, very fascinating. But in order to be entangled, they have to originate from the same spot.
same source. Yes, correct.
So what if, like in the example of that, they weren't children, they weren't from the same womb, the lovers, the one on the Mars on whatever planet that was, and the one how
I
do
didn't
they
say
get
that it applies to humans, but it could, because we don't know yet. Still,
Okay.
brains have a
Mm.
neurons can be that is but it's particles definite 100% there is proven beyond the doubt.
That's fascinating. So it made me think of, and it's not quantum, but probably will be heading that direction, because you said that in all of the imaging modalities, they're probably heading towards this quantum way of doing the imaging. So similar with the rat cells that you were showing, is in when they use contrast media in echocardiograms, they're actually micro bubbles.
Yeah, micro bubbles. Yeah, I did.
Cool.
I used to sell those machines, micro bubbles. Then you can do the transcranial Doppler and all those. They do bubbles. Yeah. But you can see that what happens is when you that contrast medium is still just a dye kind of dye, right? So you see but here is go to the cellular level. Each cell you can see, and then you can blow it up and see an exact lining path and much more crystal clear. There's no noises. So,
And I love the no noises. People don't understand that there's a lot of noise otherwise, but that's really amazing. That was great. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is butterfly effect is one of the quantum phenomena that is actually butterfly effect is if this is very important. I'm going to present that actually next topic is called complex systems. Complex systems are that artificial intelligence is one of the problems, butterfly effect problem. I tell you what that is. If you use artificial intelligence, a machine for that, what happens is this is a black box. They don't have even the scientists who designed this engineers who design the artificial intelligence, they don't know what is outcome of that outside. They don't know the exact outcome. So they're guessing the outcome is going to be good. It could be bad also. So artificial intelligence, this complex butterfly effect means you basically, even if you have every camera on this one, the outcome we humans may not know what the exact outcome is.
So again, it's, I guess what the correlation I was trying to make was similar to entanglement, something that happens just like, right here.
Yeah.
You're saying the effect could be felt. We have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be, it goes the ripple effect to the maximum a million times out. Who knows?
What I'm saying is actually that effect is a secret of the nature. We don't have any access to it.
Right. So
It's
I was thinking,
secret.
I was kind of sort of thinking that the effect could be really, 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 really far away, distant, or crazy, but that what meant it was probably somehow entangled.
Yeah. This system, complex systems exhibit a property. We don't have an access to it. How do they do it? It's beyond the human. In fact, it's called a reducible computational complexity. You cannot, even if you put a camera on all of them, you cannot reach what they do. You were forbidden from the truth. So you don't.
So in the crystals, they're neither particle nor wave.
Yeah, they're
particle.
Yeah. Oh, just a minute. Something went wrong. Just a minute. Sorry, 1 second. I don't
Where'd
know.
You go?
Just 1 second. 1 second.
You ditched me.
Yeah, I know. 1 second. Oh God.
Anyway, pretty fascinating. All of it all together.
I
love talking physics.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Mike is muted. I don't know why his mic is muted. There's all these problems come in there. Just to let me do this. 1 second.
And I love your example of me being in Florida looking at the candle and you being in California looking at the candle. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is just a video setting. Yeah, let me check. I don't know why it is went there that way. Okay, I'm going to come in. Yeah.
There you are.
Okay, that's all of us. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, yeah, that is that. The quantum physics is far-fetched. People think when I was doing computers, a lot of people used to say, "Oh, computers are not going to be." Doctors used to laugh at me, and what computers are going to do with healthcare? Now, the same thing that people are laughing at, what is quantum physics is going to do for healthcare? I tell you what it's going to do. It's going to change the world, change the imaging, change everything. It's the way we understand, and we may know a little bit about the brain and all those things. We are just beginning stages. The revolution is in the beginning, So it is really a fascinating situation there. And we're going to have that. We don't know that secret, but the entire secret of the nature, we're forbidden from there. But something we know a little bit, there exists something strange.
And I wonder, as AI speeds up and learns and learns and learns and learns, I wonder how far out we can predict the possibility of what may happen. I mean,
I'm going to present that topic actually soon.
Yeah.
About this reducible, the AI. The people think AI is some engineers design and they know what the outcome is. They don't know the outcome. They have no clue because it exhibits exactly like a human, the complex behavior, like particles, like human beings. It exhibits a strange behavior at the end. It can be the outcome. Particularly, it is dangerous because evolution exhibits the same property, but it takes millions of years. But in artificial intelligence, in seconds, computer does. So if you try to create a drug for a human being, then it can produce, a bad virus, threaten the entire humanity. So we don't know that, So it is a very careful. They're not telling 100% story. I'm going to explain that why that black box in this is so threatening to our existence itself. So you have to be very careful about that black box is. But anyway,
Well, you have to be comfortable in complex systems, in chaos theory. I mean, there's all kinds of you can either find discontent in that unknown, it's a giant unknown, or you can find comfort at least learning what you can and knowing what you can control and being very comfortable with what you cannot.
no, complex system exists, the around us. That's a natural nature. Takes a long time. If there's something goes wrong, we know how to correct it. In years and years of evolution helps us. But in the artificial intelligence side, there is no checks and balance. There is a seconds, right? It is, I can create something and then immediately there could be tomorrow there could be a virus. That is a problem with the complex system. But anyway, we need to survive, and we need to rescue RN to help us during this time.
Yes, you do.
Before we
Yes.
get a heart attacks. So tell us a little bit about the rescue RN. You always explain to me the difference between the heart attack and the cardiac arrest. Explain one more time. I love that explanation. You do that all the time.
All right. Okay. So two very different things. A heart attack may lead into a cardiac arrest, but they usually describe a heart attack as a plumbing problem. I always say, if this is your heart, pledge allegiance to the flag, your heart's sitting here, and then the veins that feed the heart,
Yeah.
right? This is what feeds the heart. And then if my ring would be a clot.
Yeah.
So nothing past my ring would get past. So no goodie in, meaning blood and nutrients in, and no garbage out. And then that starts to really hurt. So you have a heart that's the plumbing system that feeds the heart gets a clog in it. And then everything past that clog starts to hurt. And you're starting to have chest pain and you're about to have a heart attack, plumbing problem. Cardiac arrest is completely different. The heart, beats, lub dub, lub dub, lub dub on an electrical system, lub dub, lub dub. And the lub dub's gone bad, right? So in a cardiac arrest, the electrical system has gone bad and it starts doing all kinds of crazy things. It's no longer doing lub dub, lub dub. It's going wooga, 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 wooga. And so it's not like a battery jumpstart your car, but kind of sort of. What we want to do is put electricity to it in those very first few minutes while there's still electricity to change and hofully get back to a lub dub, lub dub. So you only have a very few minutes to use that electricity.
When people have heart attack, the defibrillators work or not for them?
Well, there's no need. It's not an electrical problem. In a heart attack, they're not having their electricity is not affected. They're having a circulation problem. The heart itself is not getting fed and garbage is building up. So
they need to put a stent immediately. They need to go to the
there's a clog, and it could be in one spot, it could be two, and it depends on what vessel gets clogged. People talk about the widowmaker, the great big one going down the front, because it feeds the big front part and the left part of the heart, that the biggest part that does the most work, that you don't want a heart attack there if you can help it. So but a heart attack can lead to a cardiac arrest. If you're uncomfortable and you're feeling bad and you don't go get help, you might, be too late.
Susan, it's always wonderful to talk with you. You're always educational to me. So you're always a great friend. I hope you take care of yourself and get your home. Next one is going to be from your home, or I hope.
Yes,
you're going to be a live
too.
one. You're a frequent guest in the MedBricks, and I love you. You're wonderful. Thank you so much, Susan Davis. She is a RescueRN founder. She is a doctor of nursing practice, and I'm always glad to have her anytime. Thank you so much.
Ramona. Well, we're entangled, to say. So
absolutely.
I'm already can see you all the way out in California. Not a problem.
Yeah, we're entangled with the earthquakes and the fire, the hurricanes. That's
we are.
Good night, all of you.
Bye.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine. Through our unique campaign called daily wear for medicine. You can wear it